It's April 18th, 2021, and welcome to episode 56 of the Baby Metal podcast. We gather in the podcast Discord server on alternate weeks to discuss news and thoughts on the past and future projects of Baby Metal. We invite you to join us, whether you're a longtime fan or have only just arrived. I'm Paul, and I'm joined by Kevin.
Hey, welcome back, everybody.
And Maggie.
Bonjour.
Excellent. All right, so here we are.
Yay.
We've made it to the other side of the 10 Budokan shows.
Yes, we have.
You may recall there was a time when we didn't think there would be 10 Budokan shows. But there were.
Yeah.
There was a time when we thought there would be a big, impressive announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Okay.
As with all things.
Yep.
As with it all, yes.
Subverting expectations left and right. So, the main things that we have to talk about this time are the one 2021 has opened, and various things that relate to the 10 Budokan shows that just finished.
Yes.
We can sort of walk through those in order.
Yep.
I suppose we can say something about the one membership starting, just because there's not much to say about it. But
Well, now we know why they pushed it back. It makes sense now. It makes perfect sense, which we'll get to in a short moment as well.
Right. So maybe it didn't make sense to start with that. Also, I still have never quite grasped how to use push it back and push it forward, because to me, it seems like back is further away from me. But yeah, anyway, it was a week earlier than it was supposed to be, in order to coincide with the Budokan 10 show. And I guess basically there really isn't anything to say about it. You know, we scratched our codes, we entered them in. Those of us who wanted to keep our metal names did.
Yes.
I'm Mizuni Metal again. Yay!
Huzzah.
Yep.
4 years running.
I am Paul Weighs Metal for 3 years running, which is actually an undercount because I changed my metal name a little while ago. But
Yeah, same here. I was Neighbor Metal beforehand.
Right.
And I think I explained that in a prior cast before why. But so technically, I think this would be 6 years running, I think. So
Excellent.
Sounds about right.
Oh well.
5 for me.
4 for Mizuni. So
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's been, there hasn't been a whole lot of sort of stuff connected with Fox Day or the one opening or anything. I mean, like, there's stuff connected with the Budokan show, and just slightly connected with the one. Although when we get to that, which we might as well just get to that. But
yeah, may as well. Yeah.
I mean, the one benefits are pretty meager.
So far.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess I was sort of speaking specifically about the Budokan stuff. But okay. Anyway, so let's talk about the Budokan show. I guess or show/shows, and then we can kind of maybe work our way back after that to the presentations of that in the future.
Okay, sounds good to me.
So okay, we had I guess I forget when we recorded last, but I think we had only 9 and 10 left last time we recorded.
Correct.
Yep, that was correct.
And so we had hopes and speculations, and some of them did not. Well, they didn't all come true. But,
No, they did not.
One of the things that I really had kind of hoped for, even though I didn't know how they would do it, but is to see Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
But they managed to get through all of these 10 shows without including that, which means that they did manage to not quite make it through the tournament album.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's what surprised me the most.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that they were going to do that because they'd kind of been following that formula with the other performances.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well. Anyway, so, I mean, it's true. It would have taken some figuring out. It would have been interesting to see what they did.
Yeah.
But, anyway.
But, yeah, someone had mentioned before that it would have taken a lot because, I mean, the first part of that song is Yui and Moa singing. So, with Give Me Chocolate, I mean, it's basically just noises, essentially. for their part. So that was an easy plug and play and go for just Moa to do all that. But for Catch Me If You Can, that's a haul for them to have had to try to either have Moa do that whole entire kit and caboodle, or to have maybe tried to get Momoko to record it. But I think they were trying to keep away from that, I guess. I don't know. But
yeah, who knows, like, what their sort of motivations would have been. But I think that if they did it on the pattern of the other ones, it would have been. This is weird because there's words, so it's
exactly.
Although I mean, like, it's IDZ did this right at Metal Galaxy, Legend Metal Galaxy, right? So
that was already kind of a special thing, though. I don't know that I hold that in the same category as CMYC, because they had double the Kami Band, all the Avengers on stage. It was already a special moment, special event. Whereas just doing Catch Me If You Can at Budokan really kind of elevates whoever the Avenger is. Obviously, it was Momoko.
Yeah, exactly.
To something a lot more than 3 lines.
An Avenger.
Well, I guess what I was thinking was if because they didn't mic anybody at Legend of Metal Galaxy, right? I mean, like, they may have recorded it in some kind of backtrack.
It was pre-recorded, yeah,
but
they weren't mic'd.
Right. I mean, and so it could as easily have been done in the same way with like, actually all the vocalization coming from Moa, but it would have looked weird for them to, like, lip sync or something, right?
Yeah.
But I assume that's what they did at Legend of Metal Galaxy.
That's the big difference, though, right? Like Maggie said, the choreography puts what was Moa and Yui very front and center. So they would have had to re-choreograph that, I think. I don't know. My tinfoil hat is on as to why they didn't do it, as they didn't want to elevate the Avenger that much in a song like that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what they could have done is, like, use the little, what I guess we're referring to them as sister bones now, but they could have somehow put them in that place. Yeah, you're right. It's difficult. It's tricky. It's definitely it's definitely tricky to figure out how to pull that off, because you're right. Not even just in terms of the lyrics, but just kind of like the focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas with, like, they did the pre-recording for From Dusk Till Dawn, that was just very short little words. Same with IDZ, they were just short little spurts of words. And also, as Kevin said, that was a special moment in and of itself. Whereas, Catch Me If You Can, that's a whole entire, it's not a chorus. It's not a bridge either. I don't remember the terminology, but
verse.
A whole part. Verse, thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Although, I mean, they managed Metataro too, right? So, and that has lines.
Well, Sue sang that portion, though.
Exactly.
So,
yeah, I don't know that it's lines more than they would have to re-choreograph the first half of the song. I think, because it's if they're not in the group already, it's clear that the Avengers are still supposed to just kind of be a nameless dancer that don't do anything that nobody notices, other than the symmetry that the dancer creates.
Yeah, although in Gimme Chocolate, they each have different parts too. I think they could have done it, but I can see all these being possible considerations.
Right. Oh, they totally could have done it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but they didn't do it, and that's just that is long discussion of something that didn't happen.
Paul is sad sauce. That is all it needs to be known.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess mainly I was interested to see how they would pull it off. So, but
fair enough.
What did they do? So let's see. We do have the set list here in our show notes. Anyone want to walk through the bits?
They brought back the Baby Metal Death arrangement again, which I'm excited to see. Anyway, they did that directly into IDZ. Give Me Chocolate, Doki Doki Morning, and then the new thing, which they did GJ with Moa, and the 4 sister bones. So that's cool.
So did you guys see that? I didn't look at any fan cams of that, so I don't know. I don't really know how that looked, but did you guys see any images
there
of it?
There was not a whole lot. There was a little part where in the middle of it, for the claps, the dun 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 dun.
Mm-hmm.
They did a whole little like, here over on this side, clap for me, and then Moa going back over to the other side, and going to each of the areas in the circle.
Mm-hmm.
It was cute. It was definitely cute. And then while she was in one side, the sister bone who was on the opposite side was just standing with the arms crossed with the fox hands up.
Uh-huh.
And it was rather adorable, of course, being Moa, being herself. She's just like, oh, come on,
Uh-huh.
But it was really cute. It looked really cute. But there wasn't a whole lot of like anything else like super duper different of it other than that little bit. So that was all the part that I saw, at least, on that.
Yeah, I haven't seen or watched a fan cam of it yet. I have seen lots of pictures. I spent a little bit of time trying to figure out who the sister bones are, and there just is not enough of the face to really get a positive ID. I think the prevailing theory amongst the fan base is that they are all Amuse kids still.
You think the same as the ones we had before?
I think it's probably the same 4 from Onidari. What was that? 2 shows ago? 2 Budokons ago? Yeah. It's probably the same 4, but there's no way to confirm or deny that because we just don't have good footage of them.
Nope.
And even so, they're masked and hooded, so you only get the bridge of the nose up. So good luck.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And made up too, I'm sure.
Yeah. But again, I really like that they do it this way. I think that was still a brilliant way to present Black Baby Metal songs that are very on the childish side, right? So I think this is, again, a great way to still perform that material and not have it be weird.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think GJ is a little less like that.
A little less like that,
and
yeah.
Moa's done that by herself a bit, but it's cool to do it this way.
It's a little less I don't know, I guess it's a little less childlike subject matter for GJ because it's more of like, trying to survive the train wreck of fast-paced Japanese society. So I don't know.
Though I think it does actually sort of makes reference to them being small,
yes,
right, and like sort of swimming around at people's feet.
Well, yeah, true.
So, but
I would like to see more of that.
Yeah, and who knows? I mean, I guess we'll get to speculating on the basis of who knows what, but I mean, it's quite possible. It's quite possible that we've seen the end of a lot of this, both this formation and these songs, but who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
Here's hoping the eventual Blu-ray will be good enough or give us some shots so we can identify who maybe some of these sister bones are, because I think that'd be fun to know.
Or who knows, maybe there'll be like liner notes. That would be just really subverting expectations.
Yeah,
just
right.
Name everybody.
There you go.
So next song on the list was No Rain, No Rainbow. And apparently at some point in time, although I've not really seen full footage of this, but I've only seen pictures that Sue, quote, played the piano. And there was a big piano out in the middle of the platform with the Baby Metal logo on the top of it. And so she was playing the piano.
Yeah, I did see fan cam of that.
I don't know if she really was or not, obviously, as in their air quotes that you can't see me actually doing, but air quote, playing the piano.
She was at the piano for sure.
She was at the piano.
Yeah, she was definitely at the piano for sure. Yeah, she was sitting down with the hands at the keys, but whether those fingers were moving on the keys is a different story.
And whether it was mic'd is also not. But yeah, so I've seen some photos of this. It really looks great. I mean, like, so it's all sort of blue lit. There's mist or smoke, all around on the ground, and there's just like this piano out in the middle. It's not clear. It's just a
black
dark
grand piano,
but it has the logo on the top. Well, I'm not actually 100% sure how this came to be. I think there was definitely a stop in the song.
Yeah, there was a fade to black before the piano, and then she kind of reappeared sitting at the piano,
right,
and then sang the next verse over the piano solo while at the piano, appearing to play the piano. Who knows if she actually did?
Right. Yeah, that's speculation.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a show, right? It's a spectacle,
right?
Yeah, as a spectacle, that's pretty spectacular.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think, in fact, the official account tweeted a photo of that. Did they not?
Yeah, part of the official marketing materials that went out to like Wow Wow and Kerrang and all these things. I think there is a photo of that.
But I did see a little piece of a like fan cam that went into it, and it and there is a weird break. This pause while she's presumably sprinting over the piano in the dark. Yeah. Anyway, but so that's impressive. Both that we got the song and that we got this imagery in the piano.
So what did that replace? So we expected CMYC at this show. We got GJ No Rain No Rainbow. What was the other song they hadn't done yet from the 10-year album? Akatsuki.
Yep. Xbook in chat says Akatsuki. Yeah.
So it's interesting. I wonder why they didn't do that and they chose to do GJ No Rain No Rainbow. Not that I'm complaining. We haven't seen No Rain No Rainbow since Tokyo Dome. So that was pretty spectacular and a great surprise.
Well, they did it at Legend S, right?
Oh no, they did it at Legend S. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that's a better choice. Actually, we've got a million instances of Akatsuki. They played it throughout the entire U.S. tour.
Yeah, and then they did it at the Dark Knight Carnival as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad we really got No Rain No Rainbow. I think that was a good move. I just I thought that was surprising.
Yeah. I guess maybe they just needed something a little slower in the middle. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
hard to tell.
I don't know. They seem to play it safe with set lists, right? So pulling something like that off again after so long is interesting to me.
Oh yeah, and as mentioned in the well, I mean, I guess we're not at the end of the set list, so we already revealed that Catch Me If You Can is not in there, but I guess we can also reveal that Up Down Left Right BBAB is also not in there.
Yeah, so that is a sad thing too. Still has yet to be released. I don't know if it ever will be or not. I don't know at this point.
Yeah,
it would be odd, I guess, to do that.
Well, it wouldn't be. I don't know if it would be odd to do it in a show, but
right.
It doesn't. It is a little more processed, maybe than some other songs.
Maybe
less than Future Metal. But
well, I mean, Future Metal is just an opening video, so that's not as it's a presentation in and of itself, and that's supposed to be like an intro sort of thing. But BBAB is an actual like song.
Yeah.
So it'd be a little bit harder to try to present that. I mean, unless they did some weird, like very perfume type stuff with it, that would be kind of cool. That could work out if they did, because Perfume, for those who aren't aware, basically like their sister group at Amuse, they do pop electro songs, but they also do a lot of technological advancing dance stuff with technology, which is neat. I think if they did something along the lines of that, for that song specifically, I think that would be really cool. But as you said, it just seems like a very processed song. I don't think a lot of the backing band, like there's not a whole lot of that sound in the back. To try to present that live would be a little weird too, I think. So
you're thinking that the instrumentation doesn't work?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't see it unless they do it as a thing where it's a break for the calming band, which I mean, I really know if they've ever really done anything like that. I think they've played throughout the whole entire show. Like, there really is no actual break unless it's like a video break for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like the introductions videos like they do sometimes. But in reality, I don't think they ever really get breaks. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that is interesting. There is not a whole lot of instrumentation that we're used to hearing in that song. I mean, it's there. There's drum, there's guitar. There is a lot of stuff going on over top of it, though. I don't know. I think maybe they just want to keep something in their pocket to surprise us because it's the last thing they haven't done before of their discography, right?
Mm-hmm.
True.
I mean, imagine, or look at the hype that was generated when they did From Dusk Till Dawn for the first time. I suppose it's fun to have something like that in your pocket just to pull out when nobody expects it.
And I guess since we're technically still like going into the 10-year anniversary stuff, because because there's still three things to be
revealed,
done for it, reveal. I think they're planning on for the 2021 year to be still part of that, so they could still very well do it throughout this year, I think. So I
would hope they're still planning to finish all of that stuff, because it would be weird for them to just forget about it and leave us hanging on 3 unrevealed things from the 10-year events.
One thing that they could do that I think would be interesting is, even if the instrumentation on the album is not all that suitable, they could interpret it, which they pretty much never do. But I think it would be it'd be kind of interesting to like make a different version of it that sort of only comes up live. But the other thing too is that it doesn't feel that connected to me to the 10-year anniversary stuff. I mean, it's connected to the third album, but it's not really connected to the 10-year anniversary stuff. I don't think they need to do it.
I barely kind of connected to the third album at this point, because it's just kind of like the forgotten track.
Yeah. And it was the Japanese only.
On the Japanese only version of the album.
I mean, the only reason we got BMC was because there was a kind of a huge outpour of interest in it from the international fans, or at least that's the assumption.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I buy that, but we got it because they released a single. But people are very eager to think that the team listens to us, but I don't think they do. I think they just make their own choices. Oh yes, you mentioned the leaving us hanging on 3 and stuff like that, just in case people aren't clear on what that refers to. At the very outset of this, when they were talking about this, the things that were going to happen in the 10th anniversary, they had a list of 10 things, and it was on, I think, the Toys Factory site, and they sort of filled in things along the way. And so I think one of them was the Kadokawa volume, and there were various things along the way. And for the longest time, it's been sitting on like 4 with just question marks saying only the Fox God knows. And we just recently got 1 more of those filled in, but I mean, there's still 3 unfilled in, and it's already like almost May.
Right.
So,
well, that's why I'm kind of speculating that this 2021 year is going to be the 2021-2022 year is going to be more for also more anniversary stuff.
Right. Yeah. Because they clearly have not forgotten about that list, because they just added something to this, and there are still 3 things left. Yeah. So this is presumably going to go through the entirety of the 10th year or 11th year. I guess it might be the 11th year. It's the year
after 10.
10. Yeah. But yeah, and then there's actually one other unfilled blank that we still have, astoundingly, which is the 10th edition of the 10 BABYMETAL Years album. We don't know what that is yet. It seems reasonable to guess it's going to be something related to these Budokan 10 things, but it's weird that we don't know yet, because we already know something about those.
Probably most likely after the other stuff that's going on with it, we'll probably get it most likely sometime in the summer.
Yeah.
We'll probably figure something on that.
Anyway, so we continue to wait.
Continue to wait on that.
But going back to the bunny trail, back to the set list. And a special note for No Rain, No Rainbow. Apparently, Amura was playing Mikio's guitar during that, which, that hurts my heart still a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. He was my favorite. Anyway, God, just thinking about it makes me want to cry right now. Anyway, so after a very emotional No Rain, No Rainbow, we jump into Distortion. Then there's Papaya and Megitsune and Karate and Headbanger. And then they did the Japanese version of the one as an encore, as well as Road of Resistance. So that was the set list for Budokan.
Yep. For both 9 and 10, it was pretty much identical for the two.
9 and 10.
Right.
Yeah.
And so everybody, so on 9, I didn't pay that much attention on 9. I sort of checked in on what the set list was at the end, and then, but of course, after 10, everybody was expecting, some big announcement or whatever. But now the show just ended, and then everybody left.
Pretty much. Pretty much. That was it. Well, then they did announce something. They did announce something, but it was very.
Well, it wasn't at the show though, was it?
It was after technically the show had ended, like all the exit video stuff was all done.
Mm-hmm.
And then lights come up, and then there's the thing plastered on the center
screen,
video.
Right, yeah.
Screen, what's going on. So
yeah. And they tweeted about it just shortly after that. But yeah, I mean, I guess so. One other thing is that one thing that differentiated the 10th one was that there was thanking all the fans. Actually, foreign fans as well. I don't know what so presumably that was for the cameras because there were no foreign fans in that building. But at any rate, yeah. So it did end with a kind of like a thank you to all the fans and all the gongs.
If we're going to be really specific, actually, technically, I know of one person, albeit he lives in Japan.
Well, that's yes,
but he's not Japanese.
Sure, yeah. But
anyway, I know.
But
what
you can't get in the country, so
I know. I'm just being goofy.
But yeah, so one thing that they did do at the end was they had the gongs, representing each of the shows had a gong with the logo of of like one of the episodes on it. So there were 10 gongs total. And at the very end, I'm not exactly sure. I'm interested to see the video about this, but at the very end, they had arranged 8 of them around the outer circle, and they ran around and hit them. And presumably there were 2 more somewhere else.
Yes.
That also got hit.
It was more on the inner stage.
Yeah.
Circle. So it was Moa's from Legendum, and then the 10-year one. It wasn't directly in the middle, but it was on the outside skirt where the gong normally is for the ending of the show. But it was just on the opposite side. Yeah. I did see a video on that one.
So this is one of those things where, it was probably really pretty impressive when you're there. But when you're watching the video, it's going to be like, oh, geez, this is taking forever.
Yeah.
And 8 more gongs to go.
I don't know. It was the fan cam I did see of it was pretty cute. They're having fun running around. Yeah. It kind of reminded me of the end of Tokyo Dome in that way.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mind watching them run around for 5 minutes there. And I don't mind watching them run around for 5 minutes banging gongs. I think it'll be fun.
Okay. Yeah. I have to say, I don't always watch that part through. It's like, all right, I get it. I also usually sort of like skip ahead when they start going, we are. But
interesting.
That's,
okay.
Hashtag fake fan.
Here to you.
That's all right. Everyone's got their thing. Everyone consumes differently. It's all good.
Right. Apparently there was a video at the end of the show.
It was spoken in Japanese and had subtitles in English and Japanese on the Jumbotron. So I transcribed the English subtitles from the Jumbotron. Meta Resistance finally comes to a close after a 10-year battle. The 10-count gong, marking the end of the battle, will eventually turn into a signal of departure. The three metal spirits that have been shining since 2010, even if they were to leave this earth, would continue to shine forever in our hearts and across the metal galaxy. A legend turns into a myth, which turns into a living legend. What lies ahead beyond the end of the stairway to becoming a living legend is something only the Fox God knows.
Yes.
Thank you, our metal resistance. Cut a logo.
Yeah. Well.
Yep. Same shtick.
Cool. So who knows? I mean, like, what living legend is supposed to be, whether it's related to that, demon caca thing or whatever.
Yeah.
I did think it's interesting that the verbiage in here says the three metal spirits. I think that's fun to speculate about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I noticed that too. That that was pretty explicit acknowledgement of the three of them. So,
who knows what that means going forward? It's interesting language because we know, from Koba interviews and just precedent, really, that they are extremely particular about what they say in their lore. It's not usually just slapped together, so they chose to say three. And there was reason behind that, probably. It'd be interesting to know what that reason is. After spending the last almost 2 years, we are two. Baby Metal is Sue and Moa. Why are there now three metal spirits? Sue, Moa, Yui. Is it just reference to the past? Who knows?
Yeah.
I assume so. Because it was talking about since 2010, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Even if they were to leave this earth, which basically would mean the departure of Yui, I would assume. But would shine forever. Everyone still talks about Yui. It's not like we've forgotten her. So I think it's just good acknowledgement to know where they started from. And although I will say that the eventually turned into Signal Departure, which they've used that verbiage before back in the day when they were getting ready to go on their world tour. They did the whole departure, leaving on the ship to whatever. So I'm thinking that I have a speculation on that, but yeah.
Well, what's the speculation?
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess I'm going to say it. Okay. I just think that they're probably going to do something really cool as far as another tour at some point in time here soon. That's just my thought, but something obviously not in Japan.
Yeah, you're not very far out on any limbs.
Yeah,
I would say.
Well, it's yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm weird about that. I try not to do the whole speculation thing too often, but I mean that one honestly, I do think that just means that they are planning on some sort of neat world tour, or maybe a continuation of the world tour they were supposed to have done in 2020, or even if it means potentially going on a tour with somebody else at some time.
Next week, Maggie speculates on the wetness of water.
I think water is a liquid. Yeah. It has been existent for many years. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I mean, that's low hanging fruit, but they will go on the road again. I don't know that it will be this year. I don't think they will go outside of Japan in 2021. I hope I'm wrong. I could see maybe winter 2022, so sometime after January, maybe.
It's not really entirely their choice. It kind of depends on the state of the world.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. They probably have to be very cautious about that, just like last year.
Yeah. I mean, well, and if they're going to play at a festival, the festival has to be not canceled.
Right.
So
well, that too, yeah.
I don't know that I would see. I'm not sure that I would see them opening for people again. I sort of feel like they're kind of gotten a little beyond that.
What do you mean?
Even if they're not super big in overseas or whatever, it just seems a little weird for them to be opening for people now.
I don't know. Do you count being in the middle of a festival list, 3 hours before the headliner as opening?
No.
Okay.
No. But I mean, just sort of like, touring is like, the one that plays before Lady Gaga or whatever.
Yeah, I think you're kind of right. I hadn't really thought about that.
Who knows? Maybe they would do it. I guess it depends on who, but
they would open for Metallica.
They would. I think that's probably true. There are a few.
There's a few exceptions out there, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
As far as the future goes, it would be interesting to see. Like, I sort of hope / assume that they will change some of the imagery to go along with whatever this, like, staircase and living legend and stuff like that is. Because it does seem like it really has not changed since just before Metal Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whatever, got maybe a little golder or something, but so it would be interesting to see, if this is a legend turning into a myth, turning into a living legend, means something different.
Mm-hmm.
That would be interesting to see.
I still would like to see the Avenger be brought on full time. Stop beating around the bush on that one.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure that I see the actual benefit. It seems to me like, actually, if they were to do that, they should kind of start over, in a way. Like they should have a fourth album with all three participating, and kind of leave the other stuff behind.
That could be very well they go. They've definitely set themselves up for something like that.
Yeah.
So here's where I sit on it. We're dumb. Fans are dumb. Right? And what I mean by that is, let's use like the Colbert appearance as an example.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about BABYMETAL as Sue Metal and Moa Metal, and then they cut to commercial and they come back, and then now there's a third girl on stage dancing with them. Your average American audience watching the Colbert Report is like, well, who the hell is that? Whereas,
right.
And I think it's different from the Kami band because she's clearly supposed to be part of the unit, not just behind them.
Mm-hmm.
The imagery of it is totally different. So I think if you're trying to grow your brand internationally, it's important to make it clear, right? And we talked about this a little bit even with like Kohaku, like, and their TV appearances in Japan over the winter. They they have an interview with these two people, and then suddenly there's another girl who's dressed exactly the same, doing exactly the same things, who just isn't mic'd and has a different hairstyle. And that's something we pick up on as fans. I don't know that everybody else would pick up on fans like on details like that. So I think it is kind of important for the brand going forward, if they're going to continue with the Avenger thing, to just bring her on, Momoko Metal, or whoever they decide to go with, just to make it clear that, yes, this is a person that's a part of the group. Because I do think it's confusing for there suddenly to be a third person in situations like that.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that.
If it's the same person every time. If it's not the same person every time, then they can't, that doesn't work very well. I mean, the other thing they could do is just say, do the same thing. Say, all right, well, we're committed to this. This is who the group is, and then just go down to 2 forever.
Well, sure.
Take 2021 to re-choreograph.
Well, sure. I was just making an argument for why I think they need to make a third person permanent. And we've seen from talking or reading Funny Toss and Capable Paramedics translations from Koba interviews that he thinks the aesthetic of 3 people is really important.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going anywhere. So then which makes me circle back to the marketing problem, especially to an international audience. How do you deal with that? In 2 years, 3 years, at some point, it's just going to get really weird.
Yeah. I mean, they did do the tour, the US tour with, who was it? Momoko and Rio, back and forth between, which, I mean, if you're a BABYMETAL fan, you're specifically into seeing BABYMETAL, then you're probably already aware of the situation.
Yeah. And to me, it's not the performances. It's not the tours. The fans who show up every night to watch the show, even if it's their first concert and they're just checking out BABYMETAL for the first time, they're not going to know any better. That's why the Avenger model works specifically in that environment. What I'm talking about is the marketing stuff. It's doing interviews. I think the best example recently is, like I said, the Kohaku performance and the other TV appearances they did in Japan, where they showed an interview with Su-metal and Moa-metal, and then immediately followed that by a performance with a third person dressed exactly the same, doing exactly the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Though sometimes they just interview like, the vocalist and the guitarist or something from grunge bands, right? I mean, it's not always everybody in interviews. But yeah, I see what you mean. But
most of the time, the whole band is at least sitting there, even if only the lead singer is talking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that the time's about right. Like essentially there's sort of like a change and then a settling period, and we've sort of gotten now far enough away from when there were three permanent people, and now it's sort of like we can handle the shift to having just three people again. Three permanent people again. There's always the chance that it's going to be none of the three we know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to see it to be Momoko. I think she's earned it. I think she's perfect for it. I think that would be awesome. But I'm not really advocating for her specifically, more than just I think they need to have a third real member.
Yeah, same here.
And Loon brought up something, another interesting thing in chat. That's weird. The Yoshiki thing at the end of Kohaku, they were back to 2 again. The third girl disappeared. So that's weird.
But they were all singing, right? I mean,
they were all singing.
It's not that strange if this isn't a singing member of the group.
But it's not that strange to you because you know the group and you know what's going on. Let me put it this way, using Yoshiki as an example. Say you're a 12-year-old Japanese girl who just saw BABYMETAL for the first time perform, and now you're really into it, and you've already decided your favorite is Momoko. And now she's not there for some reason during the end event with every other performer singing for the cool Yoshiki collaboration.
Yeah.
That's, why I think they need to have a third permanent person.
It does seem like if there's going to be a time when this happens, this is it. Right? I mean, like this transition to the next whatever it is. So.
BM4.
Yeah, and I still don't know what to make of the metal resistance thing, because the shirt, it says, now's the time to join. Not a very good time to join if it just ended.
Right.
So,
well, like I said, I also think that they're still continuing on with 10th anniversary stuff, and it probably won't have an actual set like transition and up until probably this next membership of 2022.
Well, but, I wonder, where do you think they counted from? It's presumably like November 2021 is the end of the 10th year, right?
Yeah, like essentially.
Or the end of the, whatever, end of the post-10th year, yeah.
I mean, with it being that far down the road, they could very well change it all up in the middle of things. I mean, the back of the t-shirt is not specifically one symbol. It is literally everything from the past. So, they're not set to have to keep with any specific theme in all reality. They could totally change it up in November. It's a possibility. And even if somebody were to get into the one past that point, it wouldn't seem like it was part of something completely different in the same year, with the shirt how it's set up. It wouldn't feel like, oh, I'm just getting this shirt because of, this stuff that happened beforehand. So, it could still be very valid even into the new stuff too.
I wonder if there's anyone who actually gets the one, but doesn't really understand what's going on. It's quite possible that there aren't any such people, because it's difficult enough to do.
My first year getting it, I was like that. I just got it because I became a super fan. I was like, well, there's a fan club. I need to join it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Not a fan club. Not only is it not a fan club, it's not a fun club.
That's right. But I didn't understand that at the
time. Okay, so what have we done? We've talked about Budokan 10. We've talked about the future.
Yeah, let's get on the train back to the station we were supposed to be on.
Yeah.
Chugga, 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 chugga.
So we had basically right at the end of the show, as people were leaving, we got an announcement of the world premiere of 10 BABYMETAL Budokan, June 26th. what is that? 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m.
Yeah,
what is 21?
All dates and times, JST.
9 p.m. JST. But yeah, okay. So we have basically that was the big announcement. We were expecting a big announcement. We got this, which is an announcement. But so it's in very little print above that June 26th 9 p.m. JST thing. It says worldwide live stream, and so that's cool. They'll be doing a live stream, and you can actually, you could buy tickets for it, and there are two differentiations. One was the one or not, and the other was merch or just tickets. So you could get just the stream ticket, or you could get the merch that goes along with it. And if you signed up as the one member, then this is so exciting. It's totally worth it. You get 3 wallpapers for your phone.
Are they for your phone? I didn't even know if they're for your phone.
Oh, maybe they're for your.
I think it just says wallpaper, so it could be for anything.
Maybe they're actually for like your bedroom.
Bedroom, yeah. Oh, there you go. Actually, rolls of wallpaper for me to put on the wall.
Yeah. I mean, you totally could do that though. Like that is a thing.
God, that would be hilarious.
You can take an image. You can take an image and get it customized into wallpaper and probably put it on your wall. Like it is a thing. It is a legitimate thing. You can do it with materials too.
God, that should have been one of our April Fool's merch items. That would have been hilarious.
That would have been good. Yeah.
Yeah, that probably would have been an awesome one. Yeah, the beach scene.
But anyway, yeah. So the benefit of being the one, the reason that they moved it in the direction that makes it earlier in time is that if you were the one member, then you could order the ticket with the one membership and get the rights to these 3 legend icon wallpapers to download. And actually, so it's not super clear to me, but there is a kind of a limit on these. Like they're not necessarily going to be available forever, and it may be partly just because it's possible to get ones with merch, and the merch could run out.
Yeah, I think it said that the merch availability for the one was up till the 22nd. I thought I saw an actual cutoff, and I thought it was the 22nd, but I could very well be wrong.
What I read was didn't have an explicit cutoff. It just said basically when we run out, we're out.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, it's not guaranteed if you wait that you're going to get anything.
Right.
It's a little ambiguous about whether the stream only tickets would be available forever, but it kind of seems dumb if they would be limited. So.
No, that I thought it said up until the day before.
Ah, okay. Could be.
Yeah. So those, but I guess the nice thing about this though, compared to the Rock My Con one, is that you have an option of doing with or without. But this also is the option of, if you are not a member, if you are just a regular Joe Schmo or Joe Man, you can just watch the show.
Yeah.
Without any other obligations.
You still have to pay $50 though.
I mean, yeah, okay. So it's still massively expensive. It's so really expensive.
I think $50 is pretty reasonable.
But it's reasonable. Now it's reasonable for Baby Metal.
Yeah.
Although there, with other live streams that some of us are aware of, like it's been way cheaper than that. But this is also a compilation.
Yeah,
so
it's not really a live
it depends
show.
on which way you look at it. It's not really a live show. So it's kind of like, I don't know.
But
like if it was a little bit cheaper, I would feel like it might be a little bit better. But with it not being a live show, I do think 50 is a little bit expensive in my opinion. But I did it anyway, so that's
I don't know. I would say, like this is a big epic event though. I mean, like it's not just like, some show at some venue that's, being streamed to you. It's, it's the big Budokan shows.
Yeah. I guess it just really depends on the way you look at it.
You're getting a Blu-ray stream. So if you pay your 49.50 yen, you can screen record it and you have the Blu-ray forever. So they got to charge a little bit more for that. They perform this in April and they're streaming it in June. So they're paying out the ass to have their editing house get this done in time for that.
Oh, true. Yeah.
So you're paying a premium there. So it's not just like Bandmate standing on a stage kicking ass for 2 hours. There's a lot more logistics they have to get behind to make this happen.
Oh, that makes sense. It does. I guess.
Well, and putting on the shows themselves were probably pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. No, those are not cheap. I guarantee that.
Because they had to, like, they had to get a piano.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yes.
Piano, the stages, paying for everybody playing, all the security. There's a lot of security.
Do we know the duration, Explicax in chat? No, we do not. We do not know the duration.
Nope. I was going to, speaking of the actual merch availability, so the whole entire thing with that is that it's 3 sacred treasures, which we've seen in the past before. One of them being a really cool, the long muffler towel. Like, it's slightly longer than a neck towel, thinner, I think. Or it might even be considered as a neck towel, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but
it's really long and it's like a
I really
carpet
like
runner or something.
They're really nice. I do like those a lot. Those are really cool. They're easier to put around your neck. I find it really, really neat. And it's got all the 10 symbols from all the different shows, and it says, we're 10 Budokan, BABYMETAL, BABYMETAL Budokan world premiere on it. It's cool. They're re-releasing the Savior masks that they were giving away at the concert, which is awesome. I think that's really cool. But for me, but they're doing a smartphone stand with the 2 girls in the masks, and you could put your phone on it. If you recall, when they did the announcement for the 10 BABYMETAL Years CD, they always give the free gifts and stuff if you order it from certain places. And it was a really obscure place. It was like 7 something. I don't even remember what the website was, but they were doing a phone stand, an acrylic phone stand for that one. And I was just like, I really wanted it, but I didn't know how to get it because I didn't know the website. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I was freaking out, and I was really sad because that was like the one thing I really actually wanted that was something kind of unique and different. And because I actually don't have a phone stand and I really like one, and it'd be cooler if it was BABYMETAL themed. So the matter of fact that we are getting a different kind of phone stand with the girls actually on it makes me excited. And so that was totally worth the money to pay for the merch, in my opinion. An extra $30 for that? Heck yeah. I'll pay that.
So I'm not, I haven't quite understood the concept of this. Is it, are there figures, like cutouts, the 3D separated from the back?
If you are familiar with Lily Metal and the Kitsune Arts thing that she does, they're like the acrylic standees. I'm thinking they actually clip into the stand itself, and it looks like they are like either holding your phone, or you can move them over to the side. Like it has like a slit in the base, I think, and you can move them over to the side and have your phone sitting straight up and down. Or if you slide them in, they're holding your phone and you can lay it down on its side, is what it's looking like. But it is the girls, so that's kind of cool.
But they are sort of like stand-up things that are not part of the image, but they're sort of part of the
it's
stand.
a 3D standout, essentially.
It's an acrylic stand. That's a cool little thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see what it is eventually.
Yeah. Now, do note, anybody who's getting the merch stuff internationally, it will not actually ship until after the show is done.
Sure. Yeah.
So that they made note of that, but it was so far down in the paperwork, the website, that some people may not realize that. So I'm saying that now.
Yeah, they did make sort of a point of that. Like if you're local, it should get there by the show. But if you're
before the show,
international, then not. But I mean, not. Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that anyway. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Unrelated to that, but still kind of related to Budokan and things on your screen. We have WoW announcing a 3-part airing of like stuff related to the Budokan shows. So on May 30th, there is an introduction. On June 26th, you might remember that as the date of the stream. There is stuff from 1 to 6. So that's the shows from January and February. And then sometime after that in July, there'll be a third part. That's the 7 to 10. I don't know what that means. I don't know. Like there are obvious questions to ask here about what are they going to stream, what is WoW going to play, and what are they going to release? Because we don't know what they're going to release, but it is crazy to think that they're not going to release something.
Mm-hmm.
So presumably there's going to be some Blu-rays. My guess is it'll be like 6 of them, but we can talk about that maybe.
I'd say only 5, but
the 6th one I was considering to be a compilation.
You would think they would do a an only a compilation disc for. I mean, I don't think they've really ever. Well, no, that's a lie. No. Now that I think about it,
the world tour
the world tour in Japan was a compilation one. That's right. Yeah. You're right. Well, because normally they would only release one disc with just one of the shows from one of the 4, like they did with Big Fox. But yeah, they did do that as a full compilation, didn't they? Huh. Well, snap, crackle, and pop, man.
Yeah, and who knows? I mean, like, so it could be like Tokyo Dome, made it. Well, and Budokan too actually made it out in public versions, right? So you didn't have to be the one; you could just get the thing. And the one my guess is that any shows that are and any Blu-rays that have individual shows like 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and so forth, that's probably the one. But I bet that they are going to have representation of an entire uncut show,
right?
For the one.
Definitely.
But so, I mean, anyway, that's possibly separate from WoW. Presumably it's not going to show all of that stuff. It's going to be some sort of compiled
they typically don't. Yeah, normally they cut out specific things and merge this and that, and
right.
Yeah.
But so we know the first one. Well, the middle one is going to be stuff from 1 to 6. So presumably it's going to be most of the stuff from the show, but with maybe a couple of the special things. I don't know. And then the other question is, like, to what extent is that going to be redundant with what they stream? Hopefully not redundant. I mean, like, hopefully they're going to show different things, cut different things or whatever.
Right. It's hard to tell. It really is. I mean, there's just so much opportunity and options for how they present all of this. So it's really going to be hard to tell. Basically, we just kind of gotta enjoy what we get, and then expect full collections at a later time.
Yeah, if they play everything, like suppose they played everything on the stream, what would that be, like 2.5 hours, 3 hours, something like that? If every unique thing got played.
It'd be really odd, though, because, well, I mean, I guess it would depend on how to present it, though, because we have 2 different variations of introductions. You've got In the Name of, and then you've got the remix of Baby Metal Death. So, I mean, then again, we've had In the Name of, obviously, for the last few years in some form or other. So they could just potentially just cut that out and just use the Baby Metal Death as the initial opener for, the stream or whatnot. They could do that.
Well, I mean, I guess what I was just saying is, like, regardless of how it sort of fits together, like, how much content is there if they play every unique thing? I mean, I think it is probably something like 3 hours, right?
Potentially,
with all the things that they switched in and out. And yeah, I mean, like, maybe they do another intro in the middle or something like that, to actually make things fit.
Right. But, and they don't have to worry about a time period either, because this is a broadcast. This is not the girls performing and stuff. So they could make it as literally as long as they want to, so long as we as the watchers are willing to sit on our butts and watch it in whatever form, or stand and cheer around and drink and dance in our living rooms or however we choose to watch. And I've seen some wild stuff happen during streams. So,
yeah, I would. As far as like the Baby Metal Death intro, I think that works just fine in the middle, just like Future Metal did.
And
because there's no vocals or anything. It's just it's just a little excerpt, and then goes in, and then leads into IDZ. So I don't think that needs to be at the beginning.
Well, they could do it that way too. Yeah, I mean, how they did with Metal Galaxy. Yeah.
I don't know what I expect of the stream. I suspect that the stream won't actually have everything. But if it did, it'll be 3 hours long, is my guess.
Yeah.
If I were doing it and it was really going to be 3 hours long, I think I probably would have a scheduled intermission, so that everybody could stay current on the chat and that sort of thing. Anyway, so that's coming up. We will, I guess it's still a little ways away before we get the Wawa introduction. That's something like a month before the stream
it's another
happens.
month.
So yeah, it's a month and a bit from now, and a month and a little less than a month from the stream. So there'll be some time yet. But actually, there's not much more to talk about. There was a Kari Band online event. So the Kari Band is it's an independent project that Bo and Omura are both involved in, and I think Mikio was too before.
He was.
Right?
Yeah, he was part of it.
And it's completely unrelated to any of the stuff that they're doing with Baby Metal, but they're still doing things together. But is this correct? Omura is not in the Kari Band?
He plays with them. I think Loon is right. Bo and Yua is technically the Kari Band now, but they play with session musicians from all over Japan all the time.
But is it not the case that Bo and Omura did an online event promoting the Kari Band?
They did.
Okay, so Omura was at least participating in that.
He was.
Well, anyway, the main thing is that Bo and Omura were talking online. And perhaps it was related to the Kari Band, perhaps it was not. But they did at least talk a little bit about their participation in this endeavor we are podcasting about. But anyway, did anyone actually see this? Or, Among Us?
I did.
No, unfortunately, I didn't. I'm going to have to see if I can find it and watch it, because it looks like it would have been a really cute time.
I just got linked in our chat.
Excellent. Well, I'll have to actually watch it then.
But so, Kevin, did you watch it? I mean, did you put this in the notes?
I did put this in the notes.
Tell us about the thing that you put in the notes.
I will tell you about the thing that I put in the notes. Yeah, so they did this super long stream. They wore this ridiculous makeup that made them look like anime characters. It was hysterical.
It was so
anyways,
cute.
the point that is relevant to us is they actually reminisced a little bit about Baby Metal throughout the time. I don't know what the best way to present this is. I just have a transcript of it that was translated.
I can be Omura. You can be Bo.
Okay, we'll do it that way.
All right.
I can't go into too much detail, but
yes.
I'd like to say thank you for 10 years of service.
Oh, that's right.
I mean that with all my heart.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's really wonderful to be able to live like this for a long time in good health without any accidents, and to have it recognized by people not only in Japan but all over the world.
That's right. In the midst of all these currents.
Hey, if I say too much, I'm going to start crying. Seriously, if I say too much, I think it's really wonderful. That's why we will continue to say a proper thank you in the future.
Yeah, of course.
It's the same with fans.
Well, those two are seriously the best.
Yeah, they're great. Those two girls are the best. I love them so much.
It's just so sweet.
That's pretty funny, yeah.
It's so cute.
But I wonder. Bo said something in there that I wonder a little bit about, which is we will continue to say a proper thank you in the future. I wonder what that meant.
I'll be honest, this whole thing just falls apart in English.
I'll definitely have to listen to it in Japanese while reading along.
Yeah. Anyways, it's fun. It was cool that they actually talked about it a little bit. They do that on Twitter and stuff too. Usually after the shows, they're pretty good at skirting the line, as it were. talking about their services, the commie band.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But these two, probably more than maybe Hideki is the only other person who's really sort of like played with them more. I mean, I think Bo and Hideki are the two that are the most constant.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's a cool little moment in there. God, that stream was long. It was like 5 hours long or something.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
They had fun.
Oh, it looked like they were having fun. I did see the little clip where they were doing the dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun. That was cute.
what I did not see that clip. What is that clip?
It was they did
GJ.
Omura started doing GJ, the claps, the dun 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 part, and then Bo jumps up and dun 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 dun.
There's the clip of it.
Okay, I think we did learn though from probably Dwayne Metal that this is that is actually a very standard sort of like go team kind of clap.
Yeah,
that is not it's not sourced specifically from Baby Metal, but in fact they got it from culture.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't have to be, even though it probably was an actual reference.
I don't know. I think it was, but
it was probably both, actually.
It also depends on when they guess they did it. Yeah, that's probably a bit of an in between.
Yeah,
their shirt is really cute.
Their shirt is really cute.
I really want it, but it's like shipping. It always comes down to shipping anymore. It's awful.
That's what Tenso's for.
When you said that, I sometimes people will like swap in if they're about to swear but they don't want to swear, they'll swap in something like sugar. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You can envision the people who do that. And I was just hearing you say that and thinking, yes, that would be a good substitute to say, shipping.
Shipping. I say fiddlesticks a lot.
Right. Yeah.
That's or Holy Mother of France is another go-to of mine, but and everyone's like, well, who's Francis and what did they ever do to you?
Well, nothing. No, like, Francis didn't do anything.
Nothing.
It's the mother.
It's the mother. It's the mother that did it. She's mean. Horrible, horrible lady.
All right. It's possible that we are very far out in the weeds by now.
Yeah, we're out in the weeds a little bit.
Yeah, we're waddling.
Okay. So anyway, perhaps we could. I think we've mostly covered the things that are new. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us in the chat and posting the images and reminding us that you can pause streams and that kind of thing. And I guess that is it for this episode. You can join us on the Baby Metal Podcast Discord to continue the conversation. Rating the podcast on whatever platform you listen on will help people find it, so please do that. We'll be back here in about 2 weeks. We hope you'll join us then. And until then, see you.